I just bought a crash damaged Bentley Continental GTC for just half the price of a Ford Fiesta.
Sold on approval.
This is my first ever crash damaged car from Copart, and I've gone in heavy for my first build. From the photos online, the damage didn't look too bad. Everything seemed like it could be a straightforward repair. Plus, it was listed as a runner and driver, which is always a good sign. But because of the accident, the car's now a Category N write-off, meaning the insurance company decided it wasn't worth repairing. Instead, the previous owner could just waltz into the Bentley dealership and buy themselves a fresh, mint condition replacement.
But not me. I've always been a risk taker. Blind buying a 6-litre W12 twin-turbo crash-damaged Bentley with lopsided suspension sounds like just the type of car I'm looking to buy.
And as you lot know, I love a luxury car, whether it's cheap, old or absolutely wrecked. And for years, my go-to has always been Range Rovers. But let's be honest, everyone's buying them right now, especially on YouTube. And after I picked up the world's cheapest Range Rover for £375, well, I wanted a new challenge, something even more risky. And this might just be the riskiest one yet.
And I've always wanted to buy a Bentley, and I've always wanted to buy something from Copart, which made this the perfect time to dive headfirst in to a crash damaged Bentley. What could possibly go wrong?
So let's start the 5-hour round trip up to Copart and pick up this crash damaged Bentley.
Hello mate. How you doing?
Oh, you alright?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Yeah. Just pull round there, mate. Have you pressed the arrive on the app?
Yes.
Yeah. Just sit there and we'll get to you as soon as.
Nice one, thank you.
So now we had to make our way into the car park where we have to wait until the car is brought out for us. It's all done via the Copart transportation app, which makes things quick, but in most cases they just hoist out the cars with a forklift tractor. Now after about 20 minutes of waiting, I was certain I just saw the Bentley being driven, which had me surprised. But as I began to look closely through the metal fence, it did look like the front end of a Bentley. And I was right, I couldn't believe it.
No way. Seems alright, apart from something just flew off it. No way.
Have you ever seen a Bentley in a worse state than this? It literally looks like it's been parked in the Sahara Desert for the last 6 months. But even still, I'm just happy to see it driving on its own.
Guys, I was not expecting that for the car to be driven out. All of the cars we've seen so far have been lifted on the truck, but it's a good sign that the car is running and driving. Let's get it loaded on the truck. I can't believe I've actually just bought a Bentley Continental GTC from Copart auction, and it seems to be alright, to be honest with you. The fact that it was driven here is a very, very good sign. Damage wise, it's not actually that bad. So the main thing we've seen is obviously the front suspension. It could be a leak, or maybe we need to change the shock absorber, but this bumper has seen better days, as well as this headlight and the wing. But the rest of this side of the car doesn't seem too bad. Little scratch on the rear quarter. On the rear, number plate obviously isn't included, but there is a bit of a story with this, so I'm going to get into that later on, of the backstory with this car. But the bumper over here has seen better days as well. We probably can get that repaired. Wing, yeah, I think that's not a big issue at all, to be honest. Not a big issue. I'm not concerned at all. But really and truly, take a look at that. Wow. My Bentley Continental GTC from Copart crash damaged. This one is going to be interesting. Let's get it home. So fast forward the next morning, you join me in my Bentley Continental GTC. It is a car that I've always wanted, but I've just never had the minerals, shall I say, to buy one, because there's a lot of problems you can have with owning a Bentley, and it isn't cheap, because let's be honest, this car brand new was around £150,000. However, I want to get into the reasons on why this specific Bentley, why would I buy a high mileage crash damaged Bentley from Copart without seeing it, test driving it, Sounds like a crazy thing to do, but I've got my reasons and I'm going to explain everything to why this specific car. So, as you've probably seen on the car, it's got a private number plate. Now, this private number plate is not actually for this car. Once upon a time, it was on here, so physically, yes, it's on this Bentley, but legally, it's actually been now put onto a 2013 Bentley, I believe. So the owner of this car has obviously bought another Bentley. Now, that number plate is actually the reason why I got this car. Let me explain. On the photos, you can't see what number plate this car's got. It's covered with Copart, or they've got tape put over the number plate. However, once you look at the report of the car, you can see if it's had any previous registrations. And one of those registrations, what was it? L4UXE. So the first thing I done was go onto Google, typed in L4UXE to see if there's any sort of documentation, photos or videos of this car. Now in this case, what I found was a photo of this car with a number plate on, and there was a lady standing next to the car posing or taking a photo with the car. The lady in question was called Lorna Lux. Now to me, I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it's just a coincidence. Maybe this is just a lady taking a photo next to a Bentley. Now, when I showed my wife, that's where things got a little bit different. Straight away, she knew who Lorna Lux was. Massive influencer. I think she's got like 1 million followers on one of her platforms. Chances are it's probably come from a good home. So that's my logic behind buying this crash damaged Bentley from Copart.
Now, we need to move on to some of those immediate issues. The coolant light is on and the oil seemed a tad low on the dipstick. So let's start with topping up the coolant. Slight concern, the tank was completely empty, which meant I ended up adding in 2 litres to get it to the maximum mark. That's not good.
Now I've already checked the oil last night and it is just above minimum. So what I'll do is I'm just going to put the full litre in, because these cars do take about, I think it's 10 or 12 litres. So
it's actually 12.5 litres to be precise. So adding 1 litre is just a sip for this engine.
Right, so that's done. Let's get the cap put back on. Now let's see how the trickle charge has been doing overnight, and hopefully we can get this Bentley running without some major coolant leak, because I'm a bit concerned why we've just added in so much coolant, but this car may have been sat around for about 6 months or so, so you never know. Right, so okay, it's not looking very, very good. We've only got one, it hasn't even gone past the first bar actually. That's really bad. It doesn't look like it's really doing much, this battery.
Which could explain why the car was listed with a roof malfunction along with various dash warning lights. These cars are very sensitive to low voltage.
Let me just unplug this and see where we are when we start this Bentley. Right, foot on brake, ignition on. Seems all right, seems good. No fault codes on the dash. Coolant light's gone. There was a roof light as well to say the roof wasn't working. Okay, windscreen washer fluid light has come on, but that's nothing major. I think it's looking okay. Last night we had a coolant light on. An oil pressure light actually came on just for a brief moment, which did have me a little bit concerned. And it did also say that there was a roof fault on the dash. And when I did try and use the roof yesterday, it wasn't working, but I thought it could be battery related. And the other fault, which was very clear to see when I picked up the car, was that front near side suspension was really collapsed. But since we got the car taken off the truck, put into the driveway, and I just ran it for a little bit, pressed about the air suspension buttons, even though I didn't really think it was doing much, the car has risen to the correct level, and overnight it's held it. So I think we're on to a winner so far. Let's just see how the car runs up to temperature and if it overheats, and let's see if we get any more oil related lights, whether that's pressure or if the level is low. Fingers crossed this is a good one. Engine sounds pretty good, pretty healthy, nothing out of the ordinary for something like this, but I've never had a W12 before, so if you have, let me know. The coolant level, can't really see it on the camera, but the coolant level is still where it needs to be. It hasn't dipped down, so I don't think we've got any major leak. A little bit concerning though to why the coolant level did drop. So could it be that there is a small leak somewhere and just over that 6-month period it's stripped down? But either way, I think so far this is looking pretty promising.
But now let's address the dirt and get this car cleaned.
So my jet wash is playing up. I can't get the attachment on other than the snow foam, so we're just gonna have to make do with low pressure. It'll do.
What a difference a quick wash at home has made to the Bentley. Compared to the horrible dusty state it arrived in, it's actually looking half decent now, and the paintwork surprisingly looks spot on.
Now that we've got the car clean, I want to show you around the car, talk you through some of the spec, but more importantly, get into exactly how much this cheap Bentley cost me. The car comes with double glazed windows, so we don't hear any riffraff outside. We've also got these 20-inch Bentley Continental speed wheels, which look fantastic, but don't give it any more speed. We've also got soft closed doors. Nice. And if I press this button down here, we've got massage seats. Oh, so good. I can feel the money. I can feel the wealth. Rich. Now, being a Mulliner spec, you do get quite a few luxury options, but the biggest and most obvious thing are these quilted seats, as well as those door cards. As well as that, you get these lovely embroidered Bentley logos in the headrest. Very ideal for flexers. I've actually seen many of these on Snapchat stories over the years. But overall, Mulliner means more luxury. The head unit's been changed as well, which is a good thing to be honest, because this is a 2009 car, so the tech would be pretty bad, but DAB radio and Bluetooth music, nice little upgrade. And to top it off, I've found the original number plates for the car, meaning I've saved myself 30 quid. I wonder how many miles I could drive if I put 30 quid in the tank. Comment down below and let me know what you think. Now, how much did I pay for this crash damaged Bentley Continental GTC? I won this Bentley for a bid of £9,800. With the fees, that came to £10,698. And when you compare that to the price of what these cars are on the market, starting at around over £20,000, I think for the price of £9,800 bid, with some fees and getting this car delivered back, it's owing me just under £11,000. I think we've got a bit of a bargain on our hands and an amazing car for this summer. So if you have enjoyed today's video and you want to see the rest of the series on this Bentley, getting it prepped, fixing all the damages, getting it mechanically running well, then I want you to do me a favor and hit that subscribe button for me right now. It's absolutely free. It helps me massively on the channel to do more content just like this. And I'm sure many of you would love to know what it's like to buy a cheap Bentley, and is it worth it, or is this going to be a big financial mistake? I like taking risks, I like cars, so that's why I enjoy making content like this for you guys. So on that note, guys, I'm going to end today's video here. Thank you so much again for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and stick around for the rest of the series with this Bentley. It's going to be a good one. With that in mind, thank you so much again for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'm going to see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. Take care, guys.